Helokawans, it's me, Little Cat. Hopefully the video and audio is on. I have to check. But yeah, you're watching my actual play, narratively driven, maybe seeing a combat once in so many episodes, but it's fine. Immortal Part 2, and everyone is here. Joyfully. In session 26, I don't even know where to start with that session. I can say it was very unhinged. Gunlag went by herself only to end up helping some people who could have died, if not for some smart plays by her. Turns out those people were Mumi's underlings. The gang finally get together again to meet with Primpata, the rude kobold in Gunlag's head, and both her and Greenie give them a task, both as an initiation into Ulcit's good graces, and just because they can't deal with it themselves. Probably. And now we are here today with the gang. Before we time skip into the front of this maze and I make some rolls, I would like to ask if you want to do anything in the interim and whether or not you want to go immediately or wait until the next morning.
The science team is putting together the fishbowl helmet.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
fishbowl helmet. So
I'll
once
help
we
him
are,
test it for like being gas proof, I suppose.
Okay, so that is going to take a while. So I'm guessing you want to go the next day?
I mean, with the help of
How long will it take?
fabricate, how long would it take?
Fabricate is instantaneous.
Hmm. So once I have all the raw materials being made into the appropriate parts, how long does it take for me to put together everything?
I would say fabricate, because of the nature of the spell. Let's call it like a 3D printer, okay?
Hmm.
You can make the separate components, and I'm going to say it does work. So it kind of makes the little stuff inside, and it depends on how well you roll during testing.
Okay.
Because that is the nature of fabrication, I believe. Like you can take a
Yes.
bunch of random stuff and then it just makes a fully functioning thing, right?
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah. But if your blueprints have 1 millimeter error, it's going to
Then voila.
translate into that fabrication. So I will say that if you choose to go immediately, you can make a D100 roll twice and take the lower number.
I just need to say we already rolled a D100 last session.
No, D100 was to see how many you can make.
Ah, okay. I shall now roll another one then.
Yeah. But if you want to go the next day, you just roll one.
I'll do it now.
Okay.
38.
38. How do you test it?
This is not a good idea. Well,
Um,
the most obvious thing would be, can it contain the water without it leaking? That would be like the most significant part.
Okay.
So I guess we grab Frosk and we stuff her head into the fishbowl.
Frost.
yes.
Does Frost go along with
Water
this?
breathing.
Yes.
Yeah, it seems fine.
You put it
Technically, she can't really disobey me anyway.
on. That is so dodgy. That is so dodgy. You
True
put it
facts.
on Frosk, and then she breathes normally, and you go around the facets, and you think about maybe 30 minutes into, you start to see beading of water on one of the valves.
Oh,
Not enough
that's not
to
good.
worry because it's water going out because of the pressure.
Can
So
just
you
scotch tape that shit.
probably, you think
Mending.
mending is
I don't
not going to
think
help
mending.
because they're separate
Yeah, it's not a
components.
broken. Yeah.
So imagine an O-ring that has been hardened from years of use. So it's not capable
Mm,
of like it's not capable of keeping the seal. But it's not the O-ring lao, because probably some other thing that I don't know about, because I don't physics,
Not plumbers.
or engineering or plumbing,
Hmm.
and they don't have Teflon
Mm,
tape here, so
can I do this instead? I'm going to assume that one of the valves is causing issues. So can I use mold earth to shape some stone into like a ring around it to clamp tight down on it to prevent it from leaking out?
you can definitely do that.
Mold earth says I can move stone, so I grab the nearest stone that is like 5 by 5. It's a 5 cube, and just like
Easy enough. There's a
mold it
lot of
into a
stones
thing.
here. It's hard to find sand, but stone is in abundance.
Plenty. Awesome. I do that.
Okay. You mold the stone. It does say stone, right?
It does say stone.
Okay.
Stone or
You
dirt.
mold the stone. It's a small piece of probably granite, you think?
Hmm.
And it's solid enough for you to turn it into like a very interesting clamp. It's a ring that shrinks to fit. If it was heat shrink, it wouldn't be so weird, except it's solid. So nothing can move it.
Okay,
But
perfect.
you should be aware, and you know this, that if any force were to hit it, because it is granite, you're not sure that it might not shatter. But for this use, it would work.
It'll hold.
Yeah,
It'll hold for now.
just
We
don't
don't have
tap it
duct
or
tape, but
something.
I have rock tape apparently.
Exactly. Mold Earth is a cantrip, right?
It is a cantrip, yes.
How long? Does that have any stipulations on time?
It's either an instantaneous effect or it lasts for an hour. But for the hour part, it only targets the loose earth, turning it into like what's the word called? Difficult
Quicksand.
terrain thingy. Yeah.
Okay. So the stone is fine forever. Yes.
Wait, let me just make sure you can call shape charges. No, sorry, I have to refresh it every hour.
Oh, that's fine. You can do that. As
Okay.
long as it's not concentration, then you're good.
It is not.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna just assume that you refresh it when it's important.
Okay. I can have two of these effects active at any given time.
Cool. Very good. Anyway, uh, you start off the evening at around 8 doing all this tinkering, and by the time it's done, it's almost 10. Greenlock is outside of where you are sitting around doing your work. He's just observing you, so are his friends. Everybody else seems to pay you no mind. He does keep looking into all your general directions to take a cue to see whether he can go away or remain here.
Okay. Speaker wants to do something while the others are doing their sciencey stuff.
Sure.
So, uh, he will either talk to Greenlock or whoever knows best the former controller of the other region.
Okay. Yeah. You might want to speak to Primpata. Greenlock does not. Wait, you can understand him. You have tongue of sun and moon, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So in plain speak, he will tell you to go see Primpata, since they once had a mind meld together. So that would be your best.
Okay.
Primpata ushers you inside.
She's the
Um,
pink one, is it?
she's yes. What did I say last time? She's the sort of blind one, like a tiny purple kobold with a giant orange spotted mushroom cap.
Okay. He will follow her. Primpata. That's a nice name.
Yeah. It's not often people say that to me, but come sit. I've made a pot of tea.
Yep. He will sit opposite her
What's on your mind?
and be like, We are going to a place that, well, belonged to someone you knew, and how do you feel about it?
She, you can't see her eyes, but she does move her chin as if she were thinking about it. And then she goes, when all of us die, we don't really think of them as not being here with us, but with the earth. It's what they have done is served our colony well. That's the best we can do to make sure they're celebrated. I'm sure Jono would be pretty angry if we started crying for no reason. He was that kind of guy.
What was his name?
Jono. Joanno.
Don't know. And from so he was the kind that liked parties?
A little bit more reserved. Less partyish, more very respectful of everyone's time. Which was why I think the heart that he controlled grew a little bit too big for its britches. We don't really have that kind of thing happen often. It's very dangerous. She looks at you, but she's no eyes to actually see you. You're not entirely sure how she's managing to take in all of you to have this conversation.
Beaker will shift a bit closer, say, if you need to touch to see, that's fine too.
No, I can see you fine. Um, the spores, the mushrooms, the mycelial network, it gives me sight, which is very comforting. It disappears if I leave this place, for obvious reasons.
Okay, so this is not the first time someone you knew has passed away, and the network gets broken off.
Not during my lifetime. This is the first time in my lifetime, but I have heard of several happenings before. Not to this extent. Slowly, whatever the creature is has gained some kind of sentience. The last encounter, which led to maybe one or two losses, they mentioned before they got cut off, seeing a little village, much the same as our own, which is very disconcerting, considering it seems like it's making a home for itself, which is very Jono-like. But without his discernment and love for life. This creature is a copy without empathy.
Do the colonies take after their controllers?
She takes a sip of her tea. She says tea very loosely. Um, and when you smell it, it smells more like stock. Like it's very meaty.
It's meat tea.
Tea.
Oh.
but you
Well,
also don't see
Beaker will
any
drink
animals.
it.
It tastes
Mhm.
delicious.
Chicken
Delicious.
tea.
Chicken. It's what is that? Chicken stock drink. Anyway, she seems to be mulling over the question. The one I'm connected to. Would I ever relinquish control? I don't think it will be as big or as controlling as Jono's. but it would still be very invasive. Your friend Gunlog can tell you. We kobolds and maybe other creatures who are able to withstand their mental onslaught, we give it a rudder. We make sure that it's going in a direction that is societally acceptable, I think is the best answer.
Okay, Speaker will give her a TLDR of his own experience inside the network and saying, was that being controlled by someone or was that something else?
She nods. Definitely controlled by one of us mainly. Somebody was really interested in helping you. I cannot tell you who that is. Where you might see me. I'm the only one who has agreed to actually meet up with all of you, but for safety reasons, we cannot divulge the information of whoever else is in control. But it was a concerted effort. Let's just say if someone wants to do something within their sector, they will announce it and will either stand back or give any sort of assistance. I was the one that allowed them to sit down in your mind for a while. I hope it wasn't uncomfortable.
I should be the one sorry that you had to be through that. I don't think it
No,
was pleasant.
there's not much we do every day. And sweetie, I am so bored.
Hmm. Okay, but uh, so we're about to go into Jono's territory. Is there anything you all can do together to help us get a push in or
I think
against the pushback?
all of us collectively can attempt to push you as far as possible and persuade it to accept it into its vault. Sort of like, I read stories about something called a Trojan horse. So you are essentially coming bearing gifts. And
Good.
unfortunately, the gifts might be yourself as nourishment to the heart. And then, unfortunately, we cannot control what goes on in that space. It's vast and limited at the same time. It really depends on what it decides to make of you.
Okay, then I think I need to understand, or I want to understand, what is the default state of the network?
To consume, to become large, to grow. It's the default state of all of it in nature. To proliferate.
Are you able to say how you get your sites to stay small?
Again, I repeat, we are the heart. I don't need a big area to govern. I take care of this small space that everybody lives in. And occasionally I go into people's minds, but
No,
otherwise it
I
depends on
mean,
the
how do
person.
you get your network to agree to not grow bigger against its inclinations?
That's that's what I meant. We control. We are the rudders.
Hmm.
So maybe some networks might be bigger than mine, but that is what I choose to have. And
Okay.
unfortunately, Jono has no control over the new heart because he's dead, which allows the heart, the space, that mycelial network to separate itself from us in a way and continue to expand.
Okay. Tell me what you can about Jono. besides being reserved and respectful of everyone's time, like what did he like? What sort of visions did he have? What resonated with him?
Maybe a persuasion check.
Okay. So speaker leveled up to 16 and he took the feat skillful.
Okay.
So
What means?
his persuasion went up from like 3 to 8, so that's
Nice.
20.
Okay. 20. She looks at you. You see her resting her chin on her hand as the other hand holds the cup and she takes another sip. Make me an insight check.
Oh, that's do I have any no, I have no inspirations.
The good thing is you didn't need a super high roll to tell that she is reserved about sharing this information. There seemed to be some kind of history between them that she's mulling over what to say, what not to say. You could tell that she doesn't know where to begin. You think that maybe more pointed questions would help her jog her memory or at least stop living in some kind of reverie where she's just giggling about what he was when he was 5.
Okay. Maybe let's start with what you told us. So you said you lost 2 people to what seemed to be a village, and do you know where this sort of village might come from Jono?
It's this village. He grew up here, lived amongst the people, and then eventually, when the collective decides that he is of a good age and with his consent, he was trained into becoming one of the holders of the heart. So this is the memory that he has. He's whatever that creature is, it has made a simulacrum of this town.
What did he treasure the most about this town or its people in particular?
She purses her lips as she wonders how to answer that. I don't think you really had favorites. You can tell that this is sort of a lie. More like she's obfuscating who the favorite is.
Well, if he valued his time, respectful of time and all that, then who did he spend the most time with or on?
Again, you see her not really wanting to answer that question. What he spent his time on cumulatively was on the betterment of the village. He did do a lot of construction when I allowed him within this village itself. He was a lot better at subterranean architecture. I was a lot better with people. But let's just say he was happily arranging and rearranging spaces. You can see her smile from the thought of a possible memory that sat in her mind as she told you.
Were you too close?
You can say that.
Hmm.
Most of us tend to keep a professional distance from each other to stop any kind of chicanery, abuse of power, blah, blah, blah.
Uh, Also out of character to the rest of the team, if you have any questions you would like speaker to pose or so, he could do that. So it's not just all me talking and also the team thinking.
I have a lot of questions, but I'm not really sure what they are at the moment. I'm just listening at the moment,
Okay.
thinking.
Did you two ever have any strong disagreements or conflicts of opinion?
I'm gonna choose to not answer that.
All right.
She takes another sip of her drink.
Does she have any idea what he valued most about their like town, their settlement?
I
Like an
asked that
indication of where
question.
the shell might be.
I asked the question what he treasured the most of this town or person, and the DM you said she said no favorites, right?
No favorite.
Can we
Did
ask a
he
little
make
bit?
any maps or any of the buildings here?
Nope.
Maybe
Most
not something that he treasured, but something that he viewed as important. Like an aspect of their life that,
Okay,
that answer
as
is in the
opposed to like
whole architecture spiel.
yeah. Uh, are there any references to his architecture that we can look at?
All of the
I
things
don't
are
suppose he's gonna like
around you.
she can would she give us like a map of the area so that we can be like, hey Valerius, you
Hmm,
know about architecture.
that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
You can ask, but
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
I'm asking that. Yeah.
and she looks at you with a face full of no.
How dare you suggest that?
Hmm.
The keys to our manor? Okay.
I said, no, we don't want the keys. We just want the lock schematics.
Exactly.
When they say that it's a simulacrum of this town that we're currently in, right? Does that mean that the defenses are the same or different?
It's
Oh.
all fungus, so
Yeah. I mean like defenses, as in like there are also similar types of creatures like those worms or
You
uh
don't she doesn't
sort
know.
of those things.
Mike,
Yeah. Oh, she doesn't know. Okay.
Mike, can me clarify? The simulacrum and whatnot, right? Are they biologically based or were they made using magic? If they were made using magic, can we just dispel magic their asses?
Okay, here's the thing. She uses simulacrum as a catch-all word because clone is not something that she knows.
Fair enough.
A
Okay.
simulation, so to speak.
Okay, got it. Oh, good.
Understandable.
yeah. And this thing is like a big organism. Okay, so let's say we get to the heart. How do we try to contain it or destroy it?
Personally, I suggest you try to destroy it because whatever I can only say from my own experience of my heart. If I were given a situation where I'm in trouble, you can bet your ass I'm gonna be trying real hard to make sure nobody gets to it. Which means moving it around, hiding it, in plain sight, changing various aspects of it. How Jonah would have treated the heart, the entire organism, is beyond my understanding. We each treat our hearts in a different way.
Came so quiet that I cut out.
No,
No, I'm trying to
it's just
think
quiet.
really hard here because the question part is very difficult here for me.
Mm-hmm. Anybody can jump in and ask questions. Essentially, you have 1.5 hours worth of questions.
Yeah, but it's not so much that she's forthcoming about the critical parts, and some parts are not known to her. So like, I'm having a bit of trouble with questions here.
I mean,
I don't know what to
she's a
ask.
person. That's what they do.
I mean, if she had any like recommendations on where to start, she would have given them already, right?
Let's just
She
say that
basically
if
just
they could
said,
deal with it, they would have.
yeah.
Mm.
That's why they're throwing them. Or rather, they're throwing
Alright.
you guys at them.
Okay, I think I know what to ask now. So you've heard of previous situations where the heart had to be destroyed, and do you know anyone with that experience still
She
around?
shakes her head. It's been hundreds of years since that happened. In fact,
Hundreds.
I would posit that it was just after Normandy. I wasn't even born yet. And I think
Normandy.
it was Normandy's heart that tried to separate itself. You can tell that she's thinking about it. Like, this is ancient history to her, as far as she knows. And they thought, she says, we thought
Is
we
it
were doing really well in making sure that never happens again. Turns out we were wrong. We don't know what causes the thing to decide to up and split, become larger, become stronger, smarter. I don't know.
um is it possible to commune with those that have become one with the walls?
I've never tried. You can try.
One face plant the wall.
Hmm.
Then is there
Uh,
a
when I was in there talking, was that all? Was that all you, or none of the deceased people?
Uh, Percentage wise, I was only there 10%. The rest are my esteemed colleagues who you will never meet.
There were no dead people in there.
Personally, I don't think they can talk.
Hmm.
Like I said, you can try. We don't have that kind of magical necromancy to be bringing people back to life. Also, we prefer that in the ground. Nourishment for the soul, for the town.
Wait, so you were only like 10% of the thing that was talking in my head?
Oh, suddenly Quinlug appears. She's like, oh, well, where did you come in? We're having some tea. I think somebody can get cakes. I can yell out for some cakes. Hang on. And then you see her pause for a while. It's coming. No, that was all me. That was in my sector.
Oh.
Okay. What did Jono look like? So I have a plan here that's very loose, but I'm thinking maybe we bring something or present some front that resembles Jono more than an intruder. If that helps.
Personally, your guess is as good as mine. She starts telling you that Jono is uh shorter than her by maybe 2 or 3 inches. If she is pinkish, he is more of a dark maroon. And he is as bald as the day a human is born. With
What is his mushroom feature?
oh, he just has like one mushroom like at the side of his head. It's very awkwardly positioned
Okay.
and very prone to getting stuck in things, which hurts a lot.
Like he'd be walking and it'll snag on
Yeah. You know,
furniture, and he'd be like,
uh,
ah,
like out of character, it's like when your sleeve gets stuck in the doorknob and you're like, ah.
yes, okay.
Mm.
Hmm.
And then she gives you more details for you to come up with like a roughly accurate representation. Roughly. As much as you can understand from her explanation.
Okay.
Um.
If willing, also speaker would like to try and get an impression of like a manner of speech or like phrases he would say, things like that. This
Let's
coming from the point of view of actor and such. But yeah,
make her make a roll because she's not very good at this. Okay, what was it again?
like
Her
he wants to know
manner
like
of
what's
speech.
manner of speech or phrases he might say. Like uh signatures basically.
Okay. Let's go with this. Oof. Okay.
And he would like to help her if possible by repeating after her.
Okay. She gives you the lowdown of the down low as best she can. Can you make me an insight check?
Okay, can do that.
Third,
Oh,
17. This woman is not an actor. Everything she's doing, you think was plucked out from a memory, and you're not convinced.
Hmm.
It's a bit like
Understand.
watching we all know what Macaulay Culkin is like when he acts, right? In Home Alone.
Who?
But can we do go away, you young child?
I was gonna say like I only know him from Home Alone.
Home
Does
Alone,
he do
right?
any
Yeah,
more
yeah.
recent
So
acting? I don't know.
I think
He
he was
actually
in
have done
another.
others, but Home Alone
Yeah,
is more famous.
Home
Okay,
Alone is the
continue.
more popular one. But given the situation, like we all know Home Alone, but can we act it out convincingly as the child actor? I don't think so. Them feels, or it's like somebody pretending to be Barack Obama by doing his staccato and just failing miserably.
Hmm. Okay,
Okay.
understood.
Well,
Like she's
speaker
just
was still
doing like poor impressions, which may or may
Yeah,
not resemble the real thing.
yeah. With a
okay.
17, you
Well,
get that.
Fair.
speaker will still appreciate her effort and thank her on this. Did he have any prized possessions?
She shakes her head. Actually, most of the heart holders, the heart is our prized possession.
Oh, I thought of a question.
Okay.
Um, like how their abilities work, right? Is it like do they originate from the heart? Like is the heart their like
Sauce?
where the power has to come from? Like let's say we're like there and there's like a surge of something. Can we use the like direction or like the way that the magic is flowing to sort of uh as an indication of where the heart might be?
As Ghost asked this question, you see her sort of in a phase of like, how do I answer this using the 17
Without giving
insight
away my secrets.
without bringing potential harm to this village. And
Because
then she
like I
shakes
mean
her head and she's like,
because the request is like, oh, there's this replica village that's something like ours. We need you to go and find its like source and then destroy it. And we're like, okay, how might we find this source? And then she's like, oh wait, shit.
It moves around and all that, right? She
yeah, yeah.
mentioned.
She reminds you that I can't tell you how all of this works for the safety of the town. Also, some people saw the replica village, the the fake version before they disappeared. Whether or not it's still there is another matter. Whether or not you can even get there is a big question.
Does she understand that in us completing this task for them, we will learn things that we can use against this mushroom
She does.
village?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, but
You also remember that she's giving you this task to see if you will follow through. She's not going to
okay.
give you significant information if you can just turn around and leave.
Yep. Speaker will also want to follow up on this. So we have to destroy a heart. Are there any limitations as to what the heart can look like or escape to and so on in our pursuit of it?
She shrugs. He liked
I
building.
suppose.
Building.
That's
I
as
suppose
much
the
as I can
worst
tell you.
case, like the worst case scenario, is if we fail, we can just pull back and give them the information that we did discover, and then they can use that how they will, and maybe if they are so willing, give us more information, and then we go out again. Or they might be like, oh, okay, with this we can handle it ourselves, and then, which, might not get us entry, but it's a step in them getting what they want, which is this whole
Actually,
situation.
that's another question. How did the extraction happen?
For this
Or how
particular
the others
one,
escape?
punch it until it dies and then it'll spit out a seed.
No,
No,
as
no,
in like you're saying the two people we lost two people, but the others that didn't get lost, how were they extracted? As in did they just run out of the confines or what?
Oh, those we sent those two people.
Oh,
I think they like communicated telepathically and then relayed the information before expiring, or before
hmm.
losing contact and becoming missing.
She takes out a sack from one of the drawers next to her, and you can see her sort of breathe in and then sort of kind of like blows her nose into the sack, and you see dust specks of greenish purplish dust. It looks like glitter sort of spill out the sides of the sack that she didn't manage to control, and then she removes her face from it and zips up the little pouch, and she goes, when you're nearby, this should be enough to keep you connected to me, all of you.
Okay, so this is the communication method they use.
She nods.
Strange spores. Understood.
Oh, all right. How long does this last? Like when should we start taking it?
I suggest you take it just where Greenlock is going to leave you, because on a normal occasion, for every time we have to go up top, I say we in the general sense, maybe an hour, maybe 2 hours. I give them extra. I don't think you're going to be in there for that long, or it wouldn't be safe for you to be in there for long. So 1 hour should be enough, but there's a chance that it might try to wrestle to be in connection with you instead, in which case I cannot promise anything.
Will it be able to do things like you did to me?
That is more my domain.
You sure?
What
Jono
about
deals
what
with
happened to the
architecture.
chicken
She said it
friends?
again.
Okay, so wouldn't be able to do to us what happened to the chicken friends.
Hmm.
Hmm.
He's
I'm
not
suspect.
really a people person. He doesn't negotiate.
Okay, so
He's just there.
okay,
I'm going to expect mazes and things like that.
yeah, like navigation issues. Okay,
Uh,
workable.
Speaker will look to the others like, do we have anything that would help us navigate architecture?
She shakes her head.
Now he's looking more to the team actually.
The
Um,
team with
In the
you is only
meantime,
Gunlag.
yeah, Bosk is
Well,
fiddling with the stuff that um Minu passed her.
Hmm.
okay, right.
yeah.
Frost and
All
Valeris
of
are
us
building the
like
thing.
absolutely unraveling and taking it down completely, and potentially us with it.
Okay, but I mean, out of character, do any of you have anything to help with like mazes and architecture, that kind of thing?
I'm going through
Mm,
my
I
item and
can
spell list right now.
the only thing I can do is ghost walk.
locate creature.
I can roll for survival,
And I could
and
Does
I
anyone
say
have
that
cannot
I
keen
get
mind?
lost. I cannot
Oh,
get lost except via magical means, which this might be
this
considered
might be magical
magical
means.
means.
Yeah.
still,
Hmm.
it's something.
Potentially, if I like keep casting like augury, we could check if like this
Is this good? Is this
is
good?
this
Is this
direction
good?
a good
No, no,
like
we
could this
don't
direction lead
I
to
don't
something?
think that works.
Yeah,
we
that's
don't
right.
have a lot of time because like even 1 hour is slim already.
I
Yeah.
Yeah.
guess let's say we find this heart in a hunter's market. Will that let me track it? Is that how that
Good
Ye-
works?
question.
That that technically is how the spell works, right? Isn't it? Like
Well,
Hunter's
It
Mark, you
depends.
can
Like
it's
know
I
the
can track it,
location.
but
cardinal
if it just like
direction.
moves without like it's not detect creature, right? It's like, I have advantage in finding tracks that you lead. But if
Mm.
like it might not leave tracks, you know?
Hunter's
Hmm.
Mark gives you advantage on something. What?
Survival checks for tracking it.
Yeah.
So look at creature might
So
be
yes, locate
But
creature with like is more powerful
Yes.
yeah.
They both
because
but
work
like
didn't
in
Gunlock,
different ways. Sorry, Mome, what?
didn't Gunlock use locate creature before and it comes out not like to it but to one of us, like to
yeah,
speaker,
your
and then
locate creature was being tampered with.
Yes.
yeah,
I
so
got
we're
starry
not sure
sky and
that it
said this was
will,
high as a kite.
yeah, so we're
Yes.
not sure it will be useful to look
Well,
Yeah.
for it.
I
Also,
can
we don't
ask her,
know
are
like
you gonna
what the
fuck with
heart
my
is.
magic again? But it said that this thing won't probably won't do that. That's more her thing.
She goes, I won't be doing anything that will impede the process. I want you to succeed.
Will that
Um,
thing be able to change my magic and
Again,
fuck with?
the tempering was more of a me thing.
Mm-hmm.
okay. Okay. So their abilities are like vastly different, is what I understand from her explanation.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
Well, she said architecture, but she was also putting walls up behind me, so I don't know. Sounds like she can do both.
So let's just think that the maze thing is not just architecture, like all like the moss thingy can do the walls sort of stuff.
like
But when
she's
they talk
showed
about
us what the heart like what the item we're looking for looks like, right? The banana flower thing.
Yeah,
but
she
it
she
can
showed
Um,
change.
she showed an example of what it should look
yes. So
like a very
can
rough
Gunlog use
book.
locate
Mm.
object to look for something like that nearby? Like, is that, or is it locate creature? Like, is it considered an object or a creature?
It's definitely not an object.
So
Okay.
creature.
That is something you can find out.
I think in D&D things are either objects or creatures,
Yeah.
right?
Yes. Uh,
High
I
performance is
also
not a plant and not a creature.
I personally as a character don't have anything besides Ghost Walk to look for like go through the maze.
And I
I
think Ghost
want
Walk
to,
doesn't work for the walls here, right? Is that what
yeah,
we
so
discovered? Can DM
uh
confirm?
So far the interaction seems like no.
Yeah.
okay.
And
But
that's only
I
under her.
yeah,
Oh,
under,
okay.
yeah.
For all we
So
know, like it's like that everywhere. We can test later, I
we are
Mm.
suppose.
not sure. So what I want to bring up is that might not be viable, but one of my underling has keen mind.
Your
Oh.
your goons are struggling right now, man.
Yeah,
I think they're
so that is
depressed.
if you guys are going tomorrow, like something like that.
Okay,
But
we
that's just a suggestion. That's not
can look at
a
that if we
thing.
fail today, I suppose,
Also,
is the
Yeah.
I've
thing to say.
expended some of my resources, so if you want to actually fight something, I don't know
Yes,
how
I think
fish we want to be.
we will have to fight.
Mm.
It's up. I think it's your call because you know what you can do and what you can't do. So if
Look,
you feel like, oh, I'm like today no bueno, then
I
maybe
can.
we
I'm
don't go
feeling a lot
today.
better just in.
We are going to have a long rest regardless.
Before or after?
No, before
Before
go,
and
because you
Okay.
need time to look at the whatever anyway.
Okay, then it doesn't matter.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
might
feel
take
free to burn as many
these.
resources as you want, like today finding out stuff and all that.
Yeah,
Yup.
it's a good idea. I might change things around and grab true seeing because that might be helpful.
Mm, very
Ooh,
nice.
interesting.
I reckon that's
Okay.
better than calm emotion right now.
Yep.
Calm
Uh,
emotion,
no,
the
no, but
heart.
I would prepare
Mushroom be
calm
calm.
emotions. I would probably end up shooting us with calm emotions than the enemy, if you get what I'm saying.
Oh, that's fair. I mean, DM is not
Uh,
here.
Okay.
right.
Uh, well, I think if there's no further questions, speaker will bid her goodbye and then like get Valerius and
Mm.
spend what time we have taking a nice trip around the town, noting down the buildings, so that if we go to the simulacrum place and see buildings that are out of place or new or strange, it probably means something. Does that make sense?
Yep, no problem.
Okay.
Once
Okay.
I'm done with that, I'll follow you and start taking photos.
You actually
Admire the
go.
architect.
You actually go to Valerius. Valerius, the thing that you're doing is fiddling around with the makeshift wing nut
Mm.
that you made out of granite.
Okay. Okay. Is it done? Is everything working? Do we have any more leaks I need to be aware of?
Not for now.
Okay. Take it off of Frost. Okay. Thank you for your help, Frost. Hopefully this works tomorrow.
And that is
What
when
is the
everybody else can
purpose
come
of
in.
making this actually?
On the off chance that the inoculation on our side fails and we get infected by hostile spores.
Then it'll be up to me.
Yep.
Understood.
So I'm gonna set this down next to you. You familiarize yourself with it as well. And I'm going to magic over a bunch of water so she can easily refuel the tank if she needs.
Okay. She will do as instructed.
Turn
Ghost,
around. Oh, hey, speaker. What's up? Or
I mean,
ghost.
speaker.
Which I'm not sure which one you prefer.
Valerius speaker.
All right.
So TLDR happens,
Mm-hmm.
so we should take a trip around the village and look at the architecture, take notes so that when we go there and see anything out of place, it could give us a better idea of which one is the heart.
Valerius nods, picks up his tablet and helmet, and starts after speaker.
Okay,
So
what's
we do
your
that.
survival, both of you?
Oh, not good.
Plus what?
+5.
+2.
Oh, it's not bad. It's something.
5
It's not bad. It's not bad. You go around. How much time do you want to spend before going to sleep?
How much time can we spend until
Yep.
we cannot take an 8-hour rest?
It depends. What time do you want to leave?
Point. Are we
Okay, I
leave?
think we would at least do 2 rounds around the village. The first time to take note, and the second time to make sure we didn't miss anything. So 2 rounds around the village.
The
Mhm.
village is kind of small. You should be able to get from, uh, like a whole circuit around the perimeter would take you about 3 hours ish.
Okay, that's still quite a bit of
like
time. Yeah.
like a brisk walk. But if you want to sit down and start sketching, that's gonna take you longer.
Give me
Provided you
a
don't get
second.
lost.
Can I just like? No, wait, I cannot. Never mind.
Lol.
Yeah, so Valerius just pulls up his little tablet thing and starts drawing.
Uh, we don't need to draw the entire village. We just need to have an idea of the layout
That's fine. That's
and
what I'm doing right now.
any important buildings of note.
Okay.
Okay,
So
so
Valerius will.
so my question now is, you know, when you go to a new city,
Mhm.
there'll be different ways of you going through the city. Some people go through it across, some people go around it.
Actually,
You're
I
not
just.
going to get a lot of information from either, so you have to prioritize.
So
Okay.
I just.
So
I just
firstly,
think of something.
which is the residence of the controller of this place, Prim?
The hut.
The hut.
Okay.
Okay.
So I think we will start from the hut and then going from there, see which are like the key buildings closest to it that was considered most important to be near Prim's hut and so on and so forth. Does that make
What
sense?
what you gather is that there seems to be no rhyme or reason for how it's structured. It's a very sprawling town, and it's not planned at all. It's like you'll go and then suddenly there's like a water place, and then there's a toilet, and then there's a farm. There's If you did city planning and you came here, you'd be like, I don't understand. This is such bad planning.
After you've done the walk around, you can bring it back to Bosk and get her to do like a nature check or something.
Before that, DM, I have a question.
Mhm.
How high is the ceiling?
It goes from 20 feet all the way to the highest. You cannot see the ceiling because it's dark.
Okay, I pull out the magic carpet and get on it.
Okay.
I would drag
Do you have
speaker
dark
onto the
vision?
magic carpet. I have the robe of eyes, which gives me dark vision out to a range of 120 feet.
Good. That way you won't bump into the ceiling.
I can also see invisible objects and into the ethereal plane.
Okay. You keep going up and you dodge a few stalactites. There's several of them. Occasionally you pass by one or two of those like slimy insect lines and not bump into it and try to do kung fu. And eventually you reach what you think is a technically high ceiling. It seems to be
Okay.
about 150, 180 feet up. But
Okay,
these are
I
pockets. They're not like a flat ceiling.
okay, I cap it at 120 feet because at that point I can't see the village below me anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I hover at 120 feet and I just point out areas that I believe would be of interest to us, and I also start like taking photos of like the overhead view of it for the layout purposes, and start
Okay.
circling on the tablet what's important and what's not.
Okay, again, the overhead view that you see, it, it looks like the first floor. You can't really tell what's a hut and what's stone. What you can tell is movement. So you can see where people are more inclined to walk, weathering the
Okay.
ground. But until you go to these locations, some are very sprawling and wide, with wider radiuses of clumps. Some are singular, stone-like objects that you think might not be like living dwelling areas. Maybe like a farm or a place where they keep their animals. But you roughly know the flow of the town.
Okay. In that case, let us just take note in priority of the most important areas that the most people use. Does that make sense?
It's
Like
nighttime now,
this
so you can't really. There's no clumps of people for you to follow around. You can do that tomorrow morning.
mm. Oh, if it's nighttime, are there any places with lights on?
Make me a perception check. Because Prim's hut is sort of dark. She doesn't
Okay.
need to see.
Rolling perception. I have advantage on the check. 31.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, thank you. 22.
Both of you look down into the darkness, and every so often, you would see a light. Valerius, you would know that one of the locations where is illuminated is the infirmary, and another one is where um Mino is staying at. Everywhere else
If it
seems relatively dark.
okay, if it helps, I pull out my spyglass and it zoom and enhance. Well, not really zoom and enhance, but zoom.
Okay,
Okay.
with the zoom and enhance, what are you looking for exactly?
Um, at this point, I'm just trying to figure out like which buildings, like what Go said, have more importance where it could potentially house the heart or maybe prominent people, things like that.
It's going to take time for you to actually go to these locations because from the top you really cannot tell.
Okay. If that's the case,
Can
then
we
I'll
go
just
further
note.
down until we have a better, like a closer view of that? Maybe 60 feet instead.
Let me put
Zoom
it
in and
this way.
enhance us.
Your your view, because it's a top view, it's like looking down onto a canopy of the forest.
Can we go below the canopy?
Fly
Then
Uh
how
down.
high will
the
it be?
below the canopy is ground, so you're gonna start walking around.
Oh, okay. Okay, you know what? Let's use the fly speed of the carpet to go along the ground like lazy people to walk. It's just
Yeah, that works.
faster.
Okay, let's go.
Because there's not a lot of people that actually, you don't see a lot of people walking around this time of night, except for the both of you, maybe a few guards, a few kobold guards, one or two other races. So you don't bump into anyone, and you take a joyride around the town. You
80
look
feet per turn.
Actually, this is good to know then. What places seem to be most guarded?
done.
Oh,
Mm,
I see.
Oh,
So, like I said, the guards that you see, they're just walking around.
hmm.
They have
What
the
are the guards
same
equipped with?
demeanor as Greenlock and the other three that he came with.
DM, what are the guards equipped with?
Uh, Swords. One of them has a shield. Another one maybe a spear. They seem very
Basic stuff, lah.
minimally prepared for an incursion.
Okay.
And then you remember how difficult it was for you to even get in here.
Understood.
And for Ghost, seeing the guards as they are, you realize why Primpata was very hesitant to divulge further details. Anyway, so you zoom 80 feet per turn. Let me remind you, that's very fast. It's like being in an F1 car.
Mm.
Maybe not, but roughly. You're gonna have to slow it down to be able to see things. I'm
Okay,
being serious
going-
here, like zooming, just
yeah,
like you don't see anything.
Okay, we will slow down to. Okay, I'll say we zoom if we don't see anything interesting, and then we slow down. We see something interesting.
Okay.
And as for what's interesting, I will pass with the architecture guy to identify like functional structures that an architect would prioritize.
Uh,
Can that make sense?
Valerius, can you pull me up the building thing that you have?
me a second. I gotta dig it out.
Also, as you travel around, you're
Found it.
going in between fast and kind of slow.
Mm.
And the fast bits, let's just say the fast bits outweigh the slow bits. There's a lot of sparse areas, like a lot. So you'll be zooming past just walls.
Yeah, that's a good idea. We don't waste time on anything slow. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, it says here primarily in crafting infrastructure that allows Ravnikins to enjoy running water, levitating platforms, and other magical and technological wonders. Valerius, you see no technology here.
This is
How would you
biology.
like to spin it? Because you do have knowledge about plumbing and things like that. Like, how would you like to spin this?
I need to think.
Because I don't want to say no.
Because Valerius's player is not smart enough. How would you guys spin this?
I mean, isn't botany a form, like agriculture, smart farming?
No.
No, I bet the city didn't like rely on pure agriculture to do its stuff.
That
So,
that
like,
is not technically urban infrastructure. That would be under animal husbandry, agri. It's
I
a
just
bit
wanna,
like the reason why you have architecture, interior design, and what's the other one? Landscaping. They are three different fields.
I just want to clarify something real quick. What are the walls of the buildings here predominantly made out of?
Stone. That's why from the top you're like, I don't know which one is a house. I don't know what's a outhouse. I don't know which one is a farm. They all look the same.
Hmm.
The detail is when you go down on ground level and you start seeing slits in the wall that would be windows, or what looks to be some kind of door or entryway or something that tells you that people live inside this structure. It is very, very interesting, very hidden architecture. And if these people were to decide to go dark, you're gonna need boss help in figuring that out.
You
As
do
a
have the
scout,
option of just going to like
mhm,
after you've gone through and done the thing and done the like rough plan and looked at it and be like, this doesn't make any sense. You're like, oh, boss knew Normandy. She did a lot of research into the mushrooms while she was developing her serum. Maybe we go ask her, and then you find her fiddling with like a bunch of metal pieces, and then you're like, look at this. Tell us what you see. And
Fair
then
enough.
there might be something there, or
mm.
there might be nothing there, in which case we just go and feel it out for ourselves.
As a scout, though, I will say that Valerius, you are quite impressed because you know how when you go camping and stuff, you've got camo, and you make sure nothing can see you from up above. You make sure that your hides are well enough in the trees so that no predator can come and just go into your tent. This is so good.
Okay, using that logic, right? Are all of the materials of the same? I mean, like, you said they're stone, but are they like the same type of stone?
As you would in most caves, there are different types of stones available, but they make do with what you what they find would be useful for that particular building, I guess. Um,
If that's the case, then is it possible by just gauging what type of building materials the thing used, can I gauge the importance of said building?
no. You can tell that some places tend to be more home style dwellings as opposed to places to eat or farms and stuff like that. But for the most part, they use what they have. And for a culture that is predominantly based on mushrooms, this place is very arid. Like there's a lot of stone outcropping with minimal moss and stuff. Very different from where you came from.
Okay, before I figure out what to do, before we figure out what to do next, can I just very quickly clarify that we've gotten at least like the layout of the roads done, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I turn to speaker. Unfortunately, this is a bit out of my area of expertise. I'm not in my gauge here. Perhaps you can consult with Doc Boss, but he hands the tablet over to speaker. Here is the layout of the roads. You can take the carpet along with Doc Boss and have a look around town. She should be able to give you better insight on what buildings are for what.
Yeah, I thought I'd see the day when our Rikers person wasn't good with architecture and I contract for shit.
Valerius starts laughing at the jab. He's like, "Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not really too well versed in this specific architecture, but that's what teams are for. So let's go grab Boss." And I zoom at 80 feet away towards where Boss was.
Okay. Boss,
Alright.
you're tinkering.
Grab me. They'd be like, "Hello."
It's like, evening, boss. We need your help. And then gestures. TLDR info dump.
Okay.
Can I help?
Please get onto the carpet.
Yes.
We'll
No,
get
first things first. I look at the drawing that you've done and be like, okay, does this begin to make some kind of sense? Is the diagram familiar?
Let me ping in Discord what it looks like roughly. But this is since we don't have any subterranean examples, I'll give you Petra Jordan.
Okay.
Okay.
Can you tell where the buildings are?
Oh,
No, not
sorry.
really.
Exactly.
Okay, we got the roads at
Does
least.
Yeah, you do have the roads.
shapes do the shapes make sense? Like, are the shapes familiar?
You your survival is very high and you do live in the cities. Oh my god, I'll give you another view. Uh Generally you can tell where it looks like to be like deeper grooves in the walkway. You can tell by the cluster, the size of the clusters of like different outcroppings. You think those would be dwellings. And you
The
think that
overall shape isn't familiar. Like, I can't be like, oh,
this
yes, this is the way that such and such grows.
you okay, what exactly are you looking for? Are you looking for plants, sustainable stuff, water
I'm just looking at
holes?
the pattern of the layout.
You cannot make heads or tails. Like this is just bad city planning to you. You're like, why is this so far from this? Assuming that it is the building that you think it is. Why are the houses so far away from like a
Okay,
central business
ignoring
district?
the buildings, because I can't like tell what the buildings are.
Hmm.
Like, do the shapes seem to make sense? Like,
Yeah.
is it like, oh, someone took this diagram from a biology book and it's the same shape? Like, are there any such connections?
Cell structure wise, uh, this doesn't look like a zoomed out photo or zoomed in photo of like a cell structure or a mycelial network per se. But
Okay.
it has that kind of haphazardness where uh where it is most convenient with most nutritional value, that is where something will appear or something
Okay.
the main body will go toward it.
Okay. Um, does it have a sort of pattern where it looks like it's all it's all connected to like a central like point or anything like that.
There doesn't seem to be a central point. You do know that there's a lot of movement, or rather, a lot of
Development.
use and weathering on the roads going to Primpata's house. But there's also some going away to the farms, a watering
Yep, yep.
hole, to the house. They don't seem to have like a central entertainment location, which is very strange for you. But it do what it do. Also, there seems to be minimal, because you know where the hospital, the infirmary is. There seems to be minimal activity, uh, roads wise, going to the infirmary.
Because I
Like,
assume it's not used much.
it's something that you likely think is true.
Yep. Okay. I share all this information. Is there anything that I point out that they haven't already like sort of guessed or inferred or thought of themselves?
Okay, I think what I'll do is I will give you a no answer, give answer, or answer hazy kind of thing. So you can ask me like several questions for the next 10 minutes before we move on. Relating to the task at hand, like if you want to do RP stuff between creation of objects and stuff, that's fine.
I need to be right back.
Okay.
No, no, like because I've asked the questions that I've thought of asking already.
Mm-hmm.
My question is like, is there any other information that is useful that my character has gotten from the information presented? Or do I think like, oh, maybe I need to see it for myself, or like does it make as much sense to me as it does Ghost and Valerius, who've already like gone scouting and looking at things? Like, are there any dots that I can join that haven't been joined already, or that, yeah, like
I think
that?
because you have more of a basis in medicine and
Yes.
general psychology, I would think. Structurally, you can't make heads or tails. You can tell them based on their information and based on all the data that they've gathered from Primpata and everyone else that yes, this is a dwelling. It doesn't make sense to you as a layman. Uh, but generally, this is what you get, and you even think that it's odd for there to be some kind of simulacrum of a place this size just out of reach.
Okay, question DM. So for a normal human town, they would have something like a church or some structural building where people will retreat to in case they get attacked. Is there an equivalent for this kobold village?
Uh, Having a conversation with all three of you, you
Mm.
think that if there was an altercation, this would be sufficient for them to close and lock the doors and just be quiet. Because if nobody pointed out that those were houses, you wouldn't
Mhm.
have known.
Right.
I know I brought up Petra, but Petra is very ornate in comparison.
Mhm.
These are literal holes in the wall.
Mm.
Okay, I'll let
Okay.
boss ask any remaining questions because I think I'm dragging it on here.
I think we've gotten as much as we're gonna get.
Mm.
We can simply proceed.
Okay. Um, the morning comes. Let me know what time you want to leave so that it makes sense to sort of wake up after 8 hours, because it's like
I
10.
also had, if before we do morning, I did want to tell the group that I found out that no one outside the continent knows that it exists anymore?
Ooh, that's a conversation. I'm gonna say that you can have this conversation when you're about to go to bed. They give you a very nice dwelling space. It's near the infirmary. It's got all the necessary comforts that you need, as well as a little wash basin, and you know where the outhouse is. But it's warm. It's nice. They give you soup.
Soup,
Is it mushroom soup?
Oh no, it's
chicken.
it's some kind of protein. You're not sure what.
Is it the tea?
And at this
It's
point, you're
actually
kind of
just
afraid to
It's the
ask.
meat stew.
it's the meat
It's
tea.
a meat
Eat it.
tea.
Okay. Well, there's not much we can do with that information right now, but it's good to know, I
Speaker will
suppose.
say, though, it is very curious because you wouldn't just accept the disappearance of a whole continent that you had business with before. So there had to be some kind of a cataclysmic event for them to even accept that.
Yeah, potentially. Or it's just been so long. Look, like it disappeared. People investigated, couldn't find anything, and then it just stayed gone. Potentially, I don't know.
Yes, there had to be something to satisfy people to think that there was no reason to look further.
Yeah.
Or the
Or for all we know,
thing
other people are looking further, just not
or the
Toby.
thing that the matriarch has set up the edges, like the thing that I talk about, the whatever force field it is, was also
Yes, but you
keeping
would
them
feel
from,
something was there.
or maybe that is from what is in here. Maybe outside is different. Like they
Perhaps.
couldn't like see, feel, or even like misdirect. I'm not sure. I'm not from the outside. I can't tell you what I know.
And I don't
So
know
if
the
a boat
details.
kept sailing until it hit the wall, it would still hit something.
You'd think so.
Hmm.
That is the logical, non-magical theory, but I'm not sure if she have done something to make the boat not go straight. So I can't say anything more than that. Yeah.
Anyway, it's good to know there's a world outside still. And how did you find out about this, Gunlock?
I I messaged Toby again.
Do we
He
remember
said
who
he
Toby is? Is that one of your gang members?
Yes, so all of you would remember Toby. You would have met the whole gang
Okay.
at the headquarters.
Okay. So
Hmm.
he's one of them.
Yeah,
He's one of the headquarters
he's
people.
the
Yeah.
schmoozy one.
Yay, the bard.
Right. Hmm.
He's he's the only one that well he's elf, so he would still be
Right.
alive. You know? So when I
Makes
messaged,
sense.
he didn't know that Para existed anymore.
Oh,
One of my other friends left with Aaron to come back here. You know, way back then,
right.
to find my brother,
Speaker inside your
The
head.
name of your friend?
Kina.
So speaker inside your head. As soon as um a very motherly voice heard that one of the friends had come here, you hear the voice sort of negotiate with you. You understand that given the nature of all of you, that would mean that if she was alive and if she thrived, she would have descendants. And she implores you, she asks whether you want to look for them.
Okay, so the them here in this case means Kila, right? Because there's no point
Kina's
looking for Erin.
descendants.
Okay, like not Erin.
No, no,
Kila.
it's Erin
Okay.
is.
Speaker will speak up here and ask Gunlock, tell me more about Kina.
She's my best friend. She was. She'll be long gone now. Grew up together. Um, I don't know what you want to know. If she came here with Aaron, knowing what Aaron's done, she's, well, either dead from the matriarch or
One
Do
of the voices in me, or one of the people I represent, has ancestry with her and is keen
what?
to see her descendants thrive, or
What's
whatever may
going
come
on?
from it.
You hear the voice say specifically, if I can't find my children, at least we'll find her family.
And that's what he'll repeat to Gunlock.
No, no, you
I- If I
what?
can't find my children, at least we'll find her family.
And when she says her, she means Gunlog.
we have reason to believe that Aaron would still keep them alive?
I doubt it.
Gunlog, you know well enough, you and your crew are very adept at keeping out of trouble. You have faith, at least you think after 250 plus years, you have faith that once upon a time, maybe Kina would be smart enough to get the fuck out of there.
Yes, but she also knows that if she was looking for Snorre, that Armadillo had been whispering in his ears.
Hmm, we shall see.
We don't know the snow deal thing, right?
No,
Hmm.
So wait, so are you saying that one of my friend's descendants is inside your head?
Ancestors.
Misunderstanding.
It goes a long way.
clarification. Out of character, what you get, speaker, is that um, this old lady, this mother, has somewhat given up her ghost, for want of a better phrase, when it comes to her children. And hearing the plea, hearing the stories that Gunlog is telling, the fervor at which she tells the story about her friends and Kine and how Kine came back triggered an opportunity for her, for you to, instead of finding her family, help you find
Gunlog's
Gundalg's remaining family.
yes. So she will live vicariously through Gunlog.
Correct. So
Oh,
it's
Okay.
altruism in a way.
That's not a good person to live vicariously through.
It's the
Well,
one she's chosen.
she seems to accept some responsibility in this, wanting to see some resolution, and I'm happy to see it through.
I wish I'd known this before
I'm
we saw
back from my
Aaron. We could
phone
have asked
call.
her. What?
Not Erin,
I know, but
not that state of Erin, but
no, but I mean, Aaron might have known what happened to Kina.
whether or not
And
Erin would speak
Initially,
is another question.
no, and if she would speak the truth, I'm not sure.
Nor if
I
we can find her again.
Yeah, I I've regained some of my memories, and I think Aaron was instrumental in subduing us throughout all of these years.
Hmm.
And we've broken up before. This isn't the first time, or at least it's not my first time.
Make me a wisdom check. Hang on. An insight on yourself.
Delve inside.
how is Valerius reacting to all the Aaron talk?
That's a good
We've
question.
mentioned her. We've mentioned her 7 times, Valerius. Like, get some
Yep.
memories on.
Yeah, give me a second. Suddenly, Roll20 started playing music and I don't like it and I shut it off.
Oh,
Okay.
right click, mute, tab.
Master music volume level off. Wait, that does nothing.
That means it's coming
Yeah,
from somewhere else.
just mute the tab. Oh yeah, maybe it's not Roll20. It's something
No,
else.
it just what the
But you can mute
Where
tab.
is it? Okay, anyway, that's fine now. Okay.
Okay.
All right. It's yeah, Aaron has been spoken of 7 times. Do I have to make a roll? Can I make a roll? Lee?
Mm. When
It's
they
up to
left
you.
us
Like, do
the
you want
safe
to make
houses,
this
we
roll?
left them at.
I mean,
She traveled with.
I will like let myself like into the sorrow and like attempt to remember.
Okay. In the meantime, with insight of 30,
I'm very insightful.
Jesus Christ.
you start to think back. Erin was the one who made sure, or so you think currently, that you were still dead asleep.
Yeah.
Why did she not bring up Kine? Why did she not bring up Snara? If that would make you work better without whatever brainwashing. That doesn't make sense to you.
She didn't have them. Hopefully. Shit. Okay.
Okay, Valerius.
Yes.
You've heard the name over and over again. You remember that fight. You remember when you took away uh the moss, you banished her when she came back. That's not her. Or it looks like her, but the face is gone. These emotions that you kept at bay, tinkering with things, trying to avoid confronting them, come flooding towards you. Whether you want to make a wisdom saving throw or an intelligence saving throw to stop this is up to you.
Want the high roll or the low roll?
Just take it.
Let's go. You need high.
I'm going to roll intelligence. Finally, a somewhat decent roll.
19. You tell me how Valerius processes emotions.
He doesn't.
He built something that represents something that he needs to do. So if he's going to process trauma, he's gonna build something that's like, okay, my hands are gonna focus on this, and then my brain is gonna focus on something else. So I
What
guess he just
what is your brain
Sorry.
focusing on?
I suppose it's kind of just like what happened and what Valerius could have done differently to to change the outcome.
You feel a twinge of guilt attack you, and it's a visceral feeling. But you manage to ball that up and swallow it down. It does leave a lump in your throat as you start picking your nails and just fiddling with your hands, because whatever you were doing before, you've finished that project. Now you just deeply need to do something else to maybe take your mind away from it, to maybe not dwell. I'm not going to put words in your mouth, but everybody who is looking at Valerius can make an insight check.
Don't think they need to make a check because Valerius's face is probably just turmoil.
Turmoil.
Doctors, look.
Oh my
Oh,
god!
what is that? That's nuts. Okay, anybody above a 15?
Okay, everyone
All of
except
us.
for basically everyone, maybe except Frosk.
Every thought you've ever had, Valeria,
It is
is mine.
so bloody obvious.
Gunlog, all this talk about family and the repetition of the name Erin over and over again, and just everybody going, TLDR, she's an asshole. She kept us under. Where is my brother? Where is my friend? What do you mean? family, question mark, question mark, and then you look at Valerius, and
Mhm.
he's holding a frog in his throat. You see him twiddling his fingers, like itching to work on something, and not really hiding, but not wanting to say anything.
Frosk, Frosk asks, "Are you okay, Valerius? You don't look like you've properly processed everything."
You
Valerius
don't
kind of
look very okay, but I don't think any of us are very okay right now, so might as well let it out.
Valerius just kind of like snaps his attention back from his tools that he's holding up to the group. He's like, "Oh, I'm no, uh, not. I'm not fine, but I have to be. You know, it's
Nah, I had my turn. Good luck had her turn. It's your turn.
I didn't realize we were taking turns on this. I was like, I guess
Yeah.
We're definitely taking turns. Yeah.
maybe not right now. I mean, I want to take a turn, but maybe once I've actually like figured out how I actually feel about all of this.
This is the only safe place we've been.
Well, just kind of looks up that the fact that we're underground, surrounded by mushroom people, and this is the safest place we've been is a new low for him. But he's like, okay, we.
I had a good night's sleep. There's no one trying to kill me.
Do we
He's
have to
not
roll
wrong
for
though.
badness, or are we being protected by the mushrooms?
You still have to roll for badness,
Damn it!
but you are very, very comfortable here.
Okay. Bosk, who is the one that rolled the 13, is like looks up from the stuff that she's been playing with, and she's just like, "God damn it, not this!
Not
It's not fitting
this.
the way I thought it would." Sorry,
Oblivious.
what were you talking about?
You can see like Valerius is like on the brink of tears. It's like, oh god, how do I process? How do I say this? He starts pulling out more like raw materials from his bag of holding, and he's like, ah shit. Okay, he's gonna
It's
start.
just kicking the can down the road.
Oh fuck! I'm just gonna. No, I'm not gonna make a dagger because everyone's gonna think I'm gonna commit suicide. Hold on.
Wow.
No. I don't make a dagger.
The fact remains that Aaron has been working closely with the matriarch
Yeah.
to keep us brainwashed. She decided, well, she invented how to do it. She talked about,
Yeah, but
I remember her talking about conditioning us. And
what
she's had some trouble.
what made her turn in the first place? You know, like I knew she wasn't happy with the initial decision to like leave Rikers and whatnot, but I don't. It it kind of spiraled into this. No, can it?
Well,
I don't
she
know.
was offered a position to do what she wanted to do, most likely.
But why the fuck was this what she wanted to do?
We
I
don't
don't
know that
think she was
she.
very happy with you at the end, was she, Valerius?
Valerius sits back on this comment and attempts to think. Was she really happy?
Actually,
Okay.
do you remember anything about the dreams that you woke up from?
That
Yeah.
I was almost getting married. But let's go with DM first.
Okay. So you think back to how back do you want to know? Like, do you want to go from the picnic back or
Before all the ages nonsense.
before all the ages nonsense? You felt it was going okay. There were some moments where she would be telling you about projects in no uh distinct manner. It's just like, oh yeah, I'm working on a project at the office, it's really nice. I might be able to step up in rank, um her master, I forgot his name, will be retiring soon, and she's primed to take over possibly, and then she can join the board of the shareholders board. Like, she had plans, she had machinations.
Like, out of sheer curiosity, right? Did from my recollection, does she seem to want to prioritize ranking up over her ideals? Because her ideals was to like eventually like provide cheaper medical treatment slash prothesis for like people in need.
That was part of her ideal. This was not something she discussed with you with. She was very excited about work most of the time.
Okay. Valeria's just kind of like thinks like it's like I don't know like
I do
I
remind you that both of you worked on Project Moth willingly.
yeah, but but we weren't like at least like the play group weren't exactly like into working it.
Maybe you weren't.
Valeria's size is like
Maybe you were slacking and she had to do more.
I guess that's something that could have happened, but I just don't know how to feel it. I keep replaying back like what I could have done before before all of this started. Like what could I have done differently to like nudge her in a different direction. I'm trying to like figure out what was the turning point from her wanting to help people to this.
You didn't look happy when I saw her in the ages.
Yeah, I mean, I can't deny that. Definitely did make her upset when I kind of forced her to leave Rikers when she was this close to getting something she wanted. I think she was getting a promotion. She was getting a promotion and like a new thing going on.
I remind
didn't know
you
the
that
specifics.
when you called her out, before she left, she did shred some paper.
Right. Thank you.
Illegal research into how to brainwash people.
Valeria's just like says like maybe it has something to do with the papers that she shredded before we pulled her out of Aegis. Maybe Aegis pulled her out of Rikers. Maybe I should have tried to preserve them or something.
I think you should have tried to preserve your relationship with her a bit better than the papers.
Oh, take 1d
And-
100
yeah.
emotional damage.
Oh, I was about to say an arrow just stabs into Valeria's eyes. Oh.
Actually, I'm not sure why I'm saying that. I don't think I would have said this a while back.
Valerius doubles over. He's clutching his chest. It's like,
Harsh.
Speaker doesn't punch anymore. He just flames you until you die.
You sure
What
he's
was it?
not a bard now?
I take 4 damage.
Wow. For
The
emotional
verbal assault.
damage.
So, oh.
Fair.
Hey, look, vicious mockery damage.
Oh, sad. Sad.
God.
You probably need a drink. Let's see if I can find something for you.
Maybe not. We still have work to do. But
Oh, fucking have a drink. I want one.
okay.
Who
I-
goes out to get the drink?
Boss will go and get a drink.
Please let
Boss,
it not be
you go
fermented
outside,
mushrooms.
you see Grinlock, and then he goes, "Oh, where go Heart tomorrow?
Oh. Yes, heart tomorrow.
When likely?
Probably late morning
Can do,
or
can do,
mid-morning.
can do. You walk in dark. Very difficult. What need?
Oh, I can see fine. Oh, I was going to ask actually if you have any strong drinks here. My friends are in need of some libations.
Have
Wait, sorry, language. Alcohol.
have strong drink, yes. Alcohol. Come with go my house. And then he leads you to his house. It does take a bit of a walk. Conversations happen in the background, and eventually you come back. You go to his house. It's very Spartan. It's very Spartan. He shares a home with the pink one that you saw previously.
Oh, the
And
one that was laughing at him.
yes, you see jars and jars and
Laughing at us, I
jars
guess.
of fermentation. Essentially, it's hard kombucha.
Oh. Okay.
Nice.
On the way, Bosk will ask like, "Oh, what do you know about Normandy?" It's probably long before your time, but
Mm,
um,
mm. Normandy,
do you
help
guys
us.
keep any history or?
I history not well, bad remember. And then he pulls out like a locket under his shirt, and then it's like a little 1 inch tall Normandy.
Oh,
Normandy give luck.
Cute.
He came here. He come here when bad lady up top took over place.
He does
Teach
give luck.
many farm. I hear many die something something mushroom, but it okay. We here now.
Many die something something mushroom.
He literally said that. He literally went something something mushroom.
Yes. I fear the worst.
No fear worse. Only little bit sick. Don't remember how many. Um, but perishment good for community in way. He nods like the what he's saying and the severity of his face is sort of taking you aback. Like what he's saying
He's not
so
wrong.
casually.
Like to feed all these mushrooms, they needed a lot of organic matter, I suppose.
He nod. You don't need a insight check to know that whatever you just said, he doesn't understand a thing you say.
Very good.
I think when Brawl got purged, all the bodies went to mushrooms.
Yes. It's all mushroom food.
And then you see, sort of slopping on the ground is a very small otiok, with a decent sized mushroom growing off his
boy.
head, and it's just vacuuming the floor. It's a little robot vacuum, just hitting the wall over and no, I'm kidding. It's just going around the room. A
I
little
like
Roomba.
crouched down. It's a little like cat-size audio
Yes.
going around cleaning the floor. Is this one of
Normandy.
yours?
Yes. This, how you say spot. There's no spots on this thing.
Dog.
Normandy train once upon a time. Shit eater before times here make pet.
Mm,
Help become useful, yes. Also not eat people. Only eat
yes.
garbage.
Much more docile than the ones I remember.
He nods.
Can I tell if the little mushroom thing is like uh one of like the spore druid mushrooms? Or is it something that like they've done for so long that this is just the like domestication process and this is one of the things that is natural for these creatures now?
Make me your choice of a nature, medicine. What's another one? What's another good one? Nature or medicine?
Those two are both excellent and equally so. I get a 27.
27. You politely observe Little Spot. He picks up Little Spot and lets you hold on to it. It's kind of slimy. You can choose to pick it up and
Hello.
like manhandle the thing. And
Yes, I shall do
you
so. Why not?
observe closely the mushroom. You remember the physiology of the otioks, and you don't
Mhm.
remember mushrooms or any sort of horn or appendage coming out from the top of its head, and it seems to be um sort of bonded to it. But you don't think that this is hereditary.
Ah, okay. Okay.
You
I
want?
I point at it again, this time specifically at the mushroom, and repeat the question. One of yours?
Oh no. Can ask Primpata. She know how to. We have
Oh,
farm with more shit eater where
yes.
baby fresh, no mushroom. But week later, yes, mushroom.
I see. I look into the creature's eyes, looking for signs of life.
It is alive. It is very, very alive. It is hungry. Um, please give food.
Okay.
It's kind of cute. It's kind of cute.
Interesting.
It
Okay.
just doesn't have that menacing just gotta eat now kind of energy.
Yes. Very good. I pat its little head and place it back down so it can continue to look for food.
It shuffles around. You can see that it picks up specks of dust. So when you came in, you tracked in some dust and dirt and soil, and it seems to be cleaning that up.
Hmm. Well trained.
It could one day become big, then have to replace. No more inside house, more outside house.
I nod. Yes. The large ones can't survive inside. They'll run out of food, you see. Okay. I take the jars that are offered to me. Thank you,
Come,
Greenlock, for everything.
I walk with you. Bring more. He is silent throughout the whole process of coming back. He does bring two more jars with him. I would say it's like 12 liters
M. That's
of
a lot.
hard fizzy booch.
How much do we
The
need to drink
party
to
will be
get drunk?
happy.
Um, how much ginger ale can you drink before you pass out?
Like, what's
A
the
lot.
percentage of this thing is what I'm asking.
Oh, what's a ginger ale percentage? It's higher
Or
than
that
beer.
depends.
Hang on.
It could be like this. It could be the
What's
same as beer if
wine?
you make it the same as beer.
What's wine? Wine is 8%,
12.
12, 14,
12, 14.
depending.
And beer is about 5.2.
6,
Yeah,
5.
between 4 and 6 usually.
Let's go a bit higher than beer. Let's go with like
8, maybe.
Cider.
7.
Okay,
Mm.
7, 8. Okay.
You
Me and
you can also
Greenlock
tell
show up with the
they
booze.
don't like drunk often.
Yeah,
Yes, yes. Makes sense.
Makes me wonder if I can fabricate freaking stuff into alcohol.
I would like
Um,
to. I would like for you to find out if you could.
you can try. It's a tenuous process. You would also need like brewing tools. Otherwise, you'll be making ethanol. And everybody will go blind.
If I can just get proficiency in brewing tools, I
There's
probably
tools.
can make alcohol using the
Yes.
fabricate spell.
Yes, you
Maybe not.
can. I think that's what it works. That's how it
Okay,
Instant,
works, right?
sure.
I have grapes, instant wine.
No, you need yeast.
Yes,
Like
yeast
you
as
need
well.
specific yeast and hops and wait, grapes. Yeah, you need
You can make it without hops. It just
you
would be
need
tasty.
specific kinds of yeast to make it tasty. You
Fair
can
enough.
alcoholize anything.
Valerius
Yeah.
just walks into the kitchen, just like, come forth into my 3D printer, become wine.
Become
He's
wine.
gone mad
Okay,
with the
Jesus,
power.
relax. Anyway, so alcohol eventually appears at your doorstep. A Greenlock bids everybody a good night, and he retires to bed away from you. You also realize that your dwelling space is next to the is next to the infirmary. So you might want to not make too much noise because the level 6 party is not in the best place right now.
Chicken friends, man.
Chicken friends.
The
They've been
nuggets.
through
Yeah,
so
I
much.
would have
I have
checked
named
them
them the nuggets because I checked them.
an hour
Dying.
before just to check
Okay.
them and then like not say anything, just to check them before going
Yeah,
back to the
we're
party
there.
and talk to the parties.
Make me because interesting. Make me a D100.
Do you want 100?
Go.
I
Big.
don't know what.
Oh,
Yes,
Thank you.
okay,
big.
oh,
That's
that's
very
good.
big.
If you rolled lower than a 20, they would still be loopy.
Oh,
You go next door into the infirmary and you see everybody sort of hustled around the two very, very, very stupidly injured ones. And they
mm,
seem to be discussing what happened before they became loopy and what they remembered.
I will ask the. I will go to Face and ask him. He probably remember more if he still remembers it.
Staring into a coin.
Face remembers some, but he was very, very distracted. The one that does remember most is what was the
Backwards
name?
person.
The
The same.
backwards opposite day person.
That
Oh, that is
me.
liquid.
The
That's
liquid.
liquid.
Liquid
Yeah.
was lucid. Lucid liquid.
She was
Except
Okay.
losing her
liquid
mind.
couldn't words.
Liquid is just opposite day. So liquid remember, but just opposite day.
Yeah.
I would
So
Then
murder
liquid
every
will
single one of them and then herself.
and then he will proceed to ask. Liquid is like how like what happened. I thought the path was very straightforward. To Mume himself because there is nothing like this happened to him, so he didn't thought like there is something like the spores that make them lucid until he was being told.
she liquid seems kind of offended. Like, how could you even say nothing happened to you? We had a harrowing situation. I couldn't speak. I couldn't speak. Or rather I could, but I was saying everything wrong.
Now I know.
Oh, she's recovered. Well done,
Yes,
Liquid.
he rolled very high. He rolled very high. So they're all recovered and they're all having a chat. I'm just happy I'm not speaking like that anymore. Can you imagine going around and going, let's kill everyone? And then Face is not looking at you, he's looking at himself, and he's turning into like some kind of shape shifting fiend. And
I was telling Body that his plans were great and that he should do them.
she says that.
And then he did.
And then
He
when he
believed
fell,
me.
when he fell into the
You
hole,
you okay.
she pulls her
Part of it is
face, like you know when you put your hands at your cheeks and then you pull up because that's how irritated you are.
yeah. And then uh Mume is like, well, okay, it's not yours to blame mostly. You already know that Body is not the wisest, no, smartest, no. He don't think.
He, that's I
Okay,
it's
I'm glad you all are okay. And luckily is okay. I don't know if luckily is the word, but luckily is just them trying to gauge you guys. Mm, Didn't know that Body will do that, and happens. You guys are okay. That's 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 the most important thing.
we'd like to say thank you to the half orc.
Yes. I will try to communicate with her.
He brings all his friends. They all walk in a line and they all bow and say, "Thank you, Miss Gunflower."
One,
You,
two,
you,
three. Terima kasih.
Say.
Who knows that might trigger another memory?
It's like,
I'll
oh,
be the
I
most
feel like
awkward thing
the entire
ever
group
experienced in their
would
whole
do
life.
that actually.
Not tonight. You can see two
Yeah,
are resting in bed.
yeah,
We can't do it tonight. It has to be
yeah. I
tomorrow
know.
morning. I
Uh,
what we're thinking of scouting the area. This place seems very safe and worth us living here. I'm not saying that other places don't look good, but I think this is the safest.
yes, safest, worth living. I have second thoughts. Not that it is not safe. is that what we are doing might bring danger, and I don't feel like bringing danger to them.
We need a place to stay. We need a place to think, relax. We need a place to plan. And what better place than I?
Yes, I know. I told you guys to come here to look for the. I know,
No,
but
you
once
don't
I'm
understand.
here,
The way in is controlled to the point where you're not allowed to pass through whatever gatekeeping that they're doing because they'll just destroy you internally. I helped destroy Body mostly because he's stupid, but without
yeah,
without the half orc, the two of us would be dead.
mm, yes, you're right.
I don't see how a better defense could be pitched up to the point where I'm starting to think this is actually an offensive.
Some might even say this is actually paradise.
I wouldn't say that. And then she sort of looks around the area. Doesn't have the creature comforts of Falson.
Well, if you have lived underground for your entire life, you would say this is paradise.
To you,
Oppositely, if you
maybe.
have, yes. Well, in any case, do need to think of if you guys, if we are not if, not a if, that we decided to stay here, what am I going to offer to them?
She shrugs. What's the plan?
Originally, it was to scout here to see if there's any place suitable for us to make a HQ. Obviously, it is a very suitable place for a HQ. But we staying here meaning that we need to give back to them. What do we give back to them? Do they want information? Do they want? They have food. They have shelter. They have good things here. Unless they want information, I think we can provide them that. Besides that, I'm not sure what they want that we can provide.
It's not difficult to find out. I mean, they've helped us enough already. I think we can just go to, what was her name? Miss Primpata.
Mm,
Have a conversation with her. Speak with Greenlock or somebody else that might speak better common. Maybe we can have a discussion.
I believe it's only Grim Primpata that is big, the most proper common.
She nods. That can all be done tomorrow. We just need to know which direction to go. If this is the place, and I urge you deeply that I think it is. We've been. You can tell that they're all tired.
Yes,
Whatever their headspace is right now is to recover.
you know what? Tomorrow after you guys do your uh, thanks and greeting to Gunlock, take the day off, rest, all of you.
She
We,
look.
all, we the other groups have a duty to do for this. I don't know what to call this colony
She shrugs.
to allow us to have good grace at least to be here. So after that, once things settle, after that, probably can talk to Queen Pata about it.
She nods. Just let us know what to do. I'm
For
going to
now,
head to bed. I've got
yes.
to nurse these through to hell.
For for now, you guys just rest. Even if I haven't come back, just rest a week. Even if I'm not back yet, I
She
should
she
be
looks
back.
at you. She's like, boss, this is the first time you're actually telling us to not work. The joke is that we should start a union and make you pay us more.
I don't pay you. That's the problem.
Exactly.
There will. I can tell you why. There's a long talk, but I don't think you have the time for it. Just rest.
All right. Fearless leader. We're going to go to sleep now.
Yes.
Look,
Have a
you
good night rest.
don't look great either, so maybe take care of yourself as well.
Yes. Uh, yeah. There's. Yeah. Just yeah. You see, he's like unsure of himself still, even after all the talk he did with previously with his like master. He's still unsure. Like he is the most unsure now than ever.
Okay. She doesn't catch on to this, because she is in recovery.
Mm-hmm.
She chooses to probably keep it to herself for the moment as she nods at you and goes to the bed where what's her name? Whisper is lying on.
I will quietly move away and let them have their rest and join back to the party.
You come back to people slowly. What are you guys doing? Like, are you sharing stories? I'm not gonna RP this. It's just to see how you go to sleep.
Drinking the beer, I imagine.
Sharing
Yeah, good
stories.
luck is definitely trying to grab quite a few of them and get a little bit of a bust because it's been a rough day with a lot of re-emerging memories that have not been fun.
It's
Bosk is
very
telling
fizzy.
Val that,
Mm.
like, I know you want to work on something, but for now, just chill and talk to the people. Do person things.
Is Boss going to do person things?
If you need to work on something, I have something to work on, but that will wait until tomorrow.
Okay.
Gunlag
The
will burp a
speaker
lot.
will enjoy the drinks and
Speaker,
just
this is the
immediately.
first time you're actually tasting, and it's not irony, and it's not something that you have to violently chew through. There's no crunching. It's kind of smooth, slightly sweet, somewhat acidic, and then you hear Gunnar burp like really loud.
Having
It
looked
doesn't
through
taste like dead people. That's nice.
having looked through like the vomit that Speaker like chucked up before while he was a ghost, do I have any reason to believe that he shouldn't be drinking this? Like you'll have problems
The only way
processing
that
it.
will go through him is
Do
by
you
throwing it up again.
do you tell him this?
Uh, if I suspect that it might not be good for him, then I will. If it's like, oh, he should be fine, then I won't say anything.
You
What?
you do remember that he was eating the walls previously and hasn't yet gotten any adverse effects, but I will let Michael decide.
I think
I will
like
bring it up
Boss.
actually,
I
since
think
since
Boss
you were
and
eating.
Ghost are both like in that comic. Remember the one, the sitting in the toilet one
Yes.
with the cats? I think both of us are in that category.
Did they pee yet? Did they poop yet?
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey,
Bosk
Ghost.
will bring it up actually. It's like, Hey, Ghost, when did you start eating again?
When I decided to,
Ah,
Right.
and things stopped tasting like dead people.
Was that today?
Today. Today. It feels like forever that I was in the wall or something, but it felt right. A lot of time passed. Is it still today?
Yeah, it's still
it is
today.
actually.
Hmm. Alright, today it is. Today we make a new start.
Right. Would I be? Can I, when we get somewhere else and we have things, can I make you waffles?
With honey or with butter?
Jam.
It's
Neither,
jam.
actually. Trick question, wags finger.
Um,
None of the above.
Gunnar looks confused for a second, like she doesn't really know the answer to the question. Like she knows that she should know the answer, and then it's like kind of, it's got her a little bit stumped.
Make me
So
a
it
wisdom
depends on what
saving
we
throw.
have.
Oh, roll low, roll low.
19. Unfortunately,
That
you
ain't low.
passed. You're like, no,
Bam.
this does not
Can I
unlock a
can I
memory.
inspiration to give her disadvantage so she gets the 13?
Sure, sure.
Yeah. Take it.
You get the
Damn it.
13. You
What
sit
is
with
what is that
yourself.
spell?
What? Inspiration? What?
No. Sorry, never mind. Continue.
Okay. Um, with the goading of Bosk, who is actively going, is it butter? Or is it no. Is it jam or is it honey? Jam or honey, good luck! Maybe not to that intensity, but you start thinking, you feel
I
conflicted.
want to hear Ben yell like that as boss cam.
uh, you start thinking, which one? Is it jam or is it honey? Is it jam or is it honey? You know intrinsically, you know internally that it's jam because you can taste it in your mouth. The same poor people jam that your mom used to make that she cobbled out of any fruits that she got from the market that was almost being thrown away. By the grace, by the kindness of the vendors who knew her, who were like, look, these are bruised. I know you need fruit. I don't want to throw them away. Take it. And you have seen this happen multiple times because there hasn't been a day where you did not quietly, sneakily follow your mom to the markets to make sure she got home safe because you don't know where your father is and you don't know if she's going to be attacked because you are the leader of a turf. You know the taste, you know the combination, you know the grittiness of raspberry when you don't filter out the seeds. The seeds give you character, said your mom. Don't be a baby.
Ag- Adds texture to the waffle.
This is
Crunch,
damn
crunch,
straight.
yum, yum.
Crunch, crunch. And then you think back to honey and you're like, how luxurious it is. How kind mother was when she was feeding you. Wait, was she feeding you? There was a moment where you did get angry and you did flip a table. And in your reverie, you sit with a bottle, with a glass in your hand, earthenware, and that slips out of your hand as you remember the same hand balled into a fist as you bludgeon the woman that looks like your mother. Not mother, but mom.
Does her
Raspberries.
drinking vessel break?
Yes, it does. In the
God.
split second of it falling before it touches the ground to shatter, you taste the jam as you watch the jam bleed out of this woman's face before you are
Ugh.
pulled away by mother.
I
Oh,
pick up the pieces and hand them to Valerius.
Larry kind of looks at the pieces. I'm like, okay. he's. What am I looking at,
Fixed it,
DM?
right?
You're looking
Wait,
at Gunlog, who is sort of like, what do you look like, Gunlog, as you experience this memory?
Stroke Pikachu face at first, and if when she remembers beating the woman that looks like her mom while mother is watching, I think it's like a shiver and like teary eyed.
Mother also has shocked Pikachu face as you're beating up the woman.
You don't know. You don't know what Mother was doing, but eventually you did hear Mother tell you to stop. You're not sure if it happened immediately. You're not sure if she waited. You're just not sure. You just remember
Damn,
a
this
lot of
kid's
rage.
crazy.
What does the woman look like?
The woman, you remember her looking almost like Gunmam, but
No, I
not
mean, like,
quite.
how beaten up is she? Like,
Oh, she had a
Like,
bleeding nose. She lost a few teeth. She did lose a few teeth because you remember knocking some out of her mouth.
mhm.
Her cheeks are bruised, although you can't really see it from the fact that when you were punching her, it was actually cutting into her skin as well. Like she's not great. She's super not great. Like you tasted jam while blood was coming out of this poor woman's face.
I think our hands are twitching and Gunlag right now wants fresh air more than anything.
Maybe we shouldn't have brought up the jam.
I think, well, the more she remembers, the more she gathers back of herself.
You hear an angry mom inside your head telling you that was very callous of you and you should go hug her.
But she needs comfort right now, and he will go over to hug her. And he's a
He
bit confused with why he said that, because to him he's suddenly feeling everything, and oh right, people don't like feeling things, right? Hug.
And with that, I am gonna say that all of you go to bed for the night. And if nobody is doing anything, you don't even keep watch this time. You know,
Yeah, you're safe now.
you know that you can go to sleep and everything will be fine. Especially after the day's whirlwind of events. Whatever was in your head now feels like it is so far away, no longer intruding in your private thoughts. You bed down, darkness consumes you, and the morning comes.
Oh, for badness.
And you roll for badness!
on that happy note, what an ending.
Ugh.
I'm
Five.
not bad.
Safe.
I am not
Safe.
bad.
Safe!
Let's go.
Oh, let's roll.
One more.
Give me a sec.
I'm
Mongo
filled
Log,
with dread.
we need to go
It's
for
okay, it's
combat.
okay.
Safe!
Ooh,
Wait,
We're
was
good, actually.
we're good.
we're
Wait,
good,
no,
we're
that-
good. It's no, a 1 and a 2 is bad. A 20 is good.
Yep.
Yes.
We're good.
Good deals.
We're good. We're fantastic. Good luck. You
Well.
wake up feeling fresh, amazing even, and although the memory that attacked you literally last night still remains with you, you know that with the re-emergence of those memories, you can move forward. And that is where we're going to stop for today because it's 11 o'clock. And
Valerius even mended the cup, right, Valerius?
Yes, the cup is fixed.
Very
He's like,
good.
yes.
Excellent.
everybody's having emotional trauma. Thank you for
Whoa.
watching.
Okay.
We will combat, maybe. We will do some exploring next week.
We will
No, next week.
explore.
Next week there's no game because I have a work thing.
Yep.
So we'll see you next week. Hold on to your butts because it's gonna be very dynamic, and I almost killed myself trying to think up of fun ways to let you guys have fun. Bye.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.